Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck at Call of Duty.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and today I'm joined by
Marcus Hurley and Will.
What games have we been playing lately then?
None of them.
Not much?
None of us.
Or
It's like The Last of Us, but less.
you finished Assassin's Creed Odyssey, right, Will?
Sort of. Right. So I've done the main quest, done the main missions, killed all the mythical creatures. I haven't platinumed it because I've realised how much of a ball ache the platinum is. But yes, I've effectively finished the main plot of the game, killed all the cultists, explored an awful lot of the world, had a whale of a time, and I'm now working through the DLC. Which,
How many hours was that, do you think?
I think I was about 70 hours on the main game.
Yeah, I've heard it's
and
gigantic.
I actually enjoyed it enough that I went straight in and bought the DLC. But I must admit, I've not played for about a week and a bit now. Just because I've not played anything. Just life got in the way. I'm hoping the next couple of days to crack back on. The DLC's good fun. It's interesting. I am finding it's more of the same, and a little bit of me is saying I should have given myself a little bit of a break in between. But the other trouble is I get this muscle memory thing where if I give up a game too long and don't go back to it, it makes it difficult. So, but yes, as I said last year, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for those who've got a bit of time to throw in or just want something to engage them, definitely my favourite game that I played from last year. Just because there's always a new joy to find. The gameplay's fantastic. Play it on hard. I strongly recommend it. You die a lot, but you feel good when you do the things you want to be able to do. Good
It's just
game.
a power fantasy, though, isn't it? And I just don't like to artificially slow down my progress, really, when it comes to
it's a
difficulty.
matter of perspective. I like a bit of a challenge, although I'm not a Dark Souls guy. The game, I suspect on normal I would have found it easy, but I would have felt almost too invincible too soon. I wouldn't have felt like I'd grown to be this amazing assassin. Once you're at a higher level, even on, basically it's 1-hit, 2-hit kills, even on the toughest of bosses if you can sneak up on them. Yeah. And if you're not good enough to sneak up on them and they've seen you, that's when you'll get a kicking. And that's actually what a good assassin is the way I look at it. It's from the model and build I played, but that was the joy. It is an RPG now, or a bit of an RPG. I literally role-played as an assassin type. I got to control the conversations, the way my character behaved. I played Cassandra the female, who was fantastically voice acted, and I got to decide what kind of person she was and how she interacted with people. And it was a real experience. It was a step up from Origins, definitely. It had some of the wonder from Black Flag with the ship-to-ship combat. All of the good elements of that were there. The sailing around, upgrading your ship, attacking enemy ships. You had more ships in a battle, potentially, at times. There's times I was facing off against other ships, but also I might encounter 5 ships from Athens and 4 Spartan ships fighting them, pile in, and just be helping one side or fighting out the other. There's just all sorts of options there.
Awesome.
Deeply satisfying game. And in the DLC, I've not got to it yet, but in the second part of the DLC, because I've got the season pass, I get to have a flamethrower on the front of my ship. So I'm looking forward to getting that.
Awesome.
Because
that sounds well cool.
Fuck wouldn't.
Oh, man. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, well, I picked up Origins in the sale. And
have you finished Syndicate yet?
No, but I haven't finished anything because I just haven't had time. But I'm on sequence 4 of Syndicate. I'm quite enjoying it. I have to say the traversal mechanic with the zip line, it's neat, but next to Spider-Man, it's pretty slow.
You're on an old Syndicate is an old game, right? Syndicate's 5-6 years old?
Yeah.
It's on this. It was this generation, though. I think it was at the beginning of this generation.
So was Unity. The crossover one was you got Black Flag on the PS4, first generation of Rogue on the PS3.
Yeah, no, I realise it's old. It's like because they had the year off, didn't they? Then Origins, then
they had the year
Odyssey.
off. Well, they did Black Flag, then they did Unity, and then they had a year off and put out Watch Dogs. Then they did Syndicate, then they had a year off, put out Watch Dogs 2, and then it was Unity. Sorry, then it was Origins.
No,
Then we got Odyssey. So this year, I'm expecting to see Watch Dogs 3.
Yes, you did mention that. Yeah, but I'm just doing the main path. But yeah, I'm also bouncing between the DLC for Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Still, I'm just plugging away at. I did. It's funny, sometimes I pick up Red Dead and I can't be bothered after an hour or so, and sometimes I want to play longer, and sometimes you just do come across a few little gems. I had a really nice moment the other day where I bumped into a chap who had lost his friend Gavin.
Oh,
and,
Gavin!
Gavin!
He's an Englishman.
Yeah, he's an English guy. I think I did recognise the voice, but I couldn't quite place it. But yeah, I don't know who it is. But anyway, I just quite like that. I just found that really amusing.
Quick question on Syndicate, if you don't mind. Speaking as someone who works in London, speaking to someone who works in London, I don't know London. I can find my way from one station to where I work, and that's it. But I know you're more of a fan of London than me. I can't stand the place. But how are you finding the Syndicate recreation of the city of Londinium? Do you keep finding these little landmarks? You go, I know this bit. Is it like the whole New York Geek Out and Spider-Man, or is it just like hollow?
No, I mean obviously it's not quite as built up as it is now, but it's kind of just that area around the around the river. It's an area around the river.
It's the city, isn't it?
It's the main square mile pretty much. So there was a moment where I was on top of a train and it was moving along, kind of just going across the river to the south bank. And there was a point where I looked behind me, I could see Waterloo Station, Big Ben, St. Paul's, and I thought all of that was perfectly scaled.
Mm.
Yeah. So all the stuff right around the river, that's all and the landmarks is really nicely scaled. But I feel like they are just it is a bit sort of factory block, row of houses here, row of houses there. I'm guessing they kind of took a bit of license with that.
Yeah.
As they probably did with Paris as well and all the other places.
When is it set? I mean, don't forget, a lot of it was lost in the Blitz as well and stuff. So a lot of the factories and stuff that were dockside were taken out.
It's early 1800s, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or mid 1800s. Mm. Yeah. Something. It's Jack the Ripper, Core Blimey, Apples and Pears, Queen Victoria, Sherlock Holmes. It's all that.
If I recall correctly, have you done the flash forward where you end up climbing the Eiffel Tower and stuff during World War II? And there's all sorts of weird.
That's in Unity.
Is that Unity? Oh, right.
Yeah, I did that in Unity, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that's in this one too. But
sorry, I clearly had a glitch in my... oh, shit, if I could remember the term, it'd be much funnier. The thing that they... in my Animus.
Oh, right, glitch in the Animus.
Yeah.
You see a doctor right
yeah.
Oh, right up the Animus.
I'm quite liking the two-character approach, the fact that you can switch them at any time. Do you get to do that in Odyssey, or do you have to make a choice at the beginning?
You pick one at the start because the sibling, and I'm deliberately avoiding spoilers here, the sibling, whichever way you go, because you've got Cassandra, who's the slightly older sister, and you got, I think, Alexandros is the younger brother, and whichever one you pick, you will encounter the other one. And they become a major plot element. So it's all about the sibling and the family and reuniting the family and all of this sort of stuff. Yeah, so it's really well done actually. But you couldn't switch between them because you couldn't be able to tell the story. But it's a good story.
Okay.
A lot of it is the Odyssey, to find your family, to reunite the family, to break the cults, and the whole amount of travel you do. Because, like I say, you talk square mile for syndicates. It's all of the Greek islands of mainland Greece. It's ridiculously big. I think it's the biggest open world I can think of that I've been a part of, and there is stuff everywhere. It's incredible.
Bigger isn't always better, though.
I'll completely agree with that. The only issue, to an extent, is the sheer amount of time it takes to explore that world. I completed the game, and there was still a lot of the map that was greyed out.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. So I'm enjoying the dual character thing on Syndicate, but I have sort of purposefully taken each of them down different skill trees, because I thought, well, I'll make her like more stealthy, and I'll make the guy like more of a
brawler. Yeah, Jacob the brawler, Evie the stealth. Definitely, that's exactly the way I played it.
Yeah, so that's quite good, and they have like their own missions as well. So it's quite a lot to sort of like fit in your head for a game that I'm probably that I'm bouncing off other things
through as well.
I'm trying. Well, I'm just playing it as I want, really, because. I mean, to be honest with you, I know we talked about our games that we're looking forward to next year, but I'm not in really any massive hurry to play any of them. So I don't feel like I'm in a rush, but I am definitely prioritising the Assassin's Creed franchise because I have heard so many good things about Odyssey. I want to get there, and I want to play that exclusively and give it the time it deserves. So... But yeah, that's what I'm playing. I've been playing a bit of Spider-Man. I think you've been playing a bit of Spider-Man, haven't you, Marcus?
I have. I've been playing it like an idiot.
Yeah, you have. You're like unlocking all the little breadcrumbs and stuff and avoiding the storyline.
It's basically
but the storyline is like it's nearer, it's closer, it's there in the way
I'm just swinging around and things are happening, and it's just amazing. It's like someone's just given me a Spider-Man character to swing around the city, and I can just do what I want. And there are bad guys.
But the story is really good.
I can drop in their head. I can swing kick them off a building. It's amazing. It's just.
But the storyline is really good, Marcus.
GTA
and
Spider-Man. Come on, it's amazing.
Will you
but the point is,
I'm going to have to bang your heads together.
The point is, there are parts in the story where you were told to go and do the open world stuff. Or you wait for someone...
Rob, I have to apologise. I was massively trolling you. I have started the storyline part. And it is amazing.
Yeah, you knew you'd get a rise out of me, because it's like, no, don't do that.
In fact, Rob, I went on my PSN account, and I found that actually in my wallet, I had stashed some cash. So... because I've been enjoying the storyline so much, I have bought the DLC back.
Cool.
Already.
The only thing... Well, that's great. The one thing I will say is that I was kind of hoping the DLC would give me an excuse to tie up a lot of the stuff that I didn't get to in the main game.
Yeah.
And that is true to an extent. You can still do the backpacks, and you can still do some of the observation points. Yeah, I've done all them now, because I thought I would do them while I was doing the new DLC. But the thing is, basically, what happens is when you boot into the DLC, it's sort of like you basically change the campaign.
Okay.
So, and I think the reason for that is that they've dropped a lot of other little sort of breadcrumby open world things to do. And I think they just wanted to make room for that. So they get rid of a bunch. So like the research stations are gone and a few of the other bits and pieces are gone, but all the collectible stuff's there.
Awesome.
So even when you've got the DLC, like, it's like a good sort of opportunity to tidy up some of that stuff.
Just kind of like treating it a bit like an old school PC expansion pack, rather than adding to the main part. So
to an extent.
Yeah, so it kind of feeds in, but it kind of alters the world a little bit in the direction it wants it to go.
It's just great if you want to, if you want more of that sort of story type content. And so far it's been really good, actually.
I'm loving it. I think it's amazing.
There was a mission. Have you started the DLC at all?
No. I'm still doing the main story, but I can guess from some of them. Honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you read even the description of the DLC, it's definitely worth doing all the Black Cat stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of where this follows on from. So it will probably be almost a bit weird if you haven't done that.
Are you doing all of them in order, like the first one and or just
What,
picking them randomly?
What, the DLCs? Yeah, I'm starting with the first one. It's like a little 3-part thing, I think. But you can do them in any order if you want.
Cool.
But yeah, if you do all the Black Cat stuff, I think that unlocks another suit as well. So
Awesome.
that's cool. I unlocked another suit. I've actually got the cell shaded suit now,
brilliant.
which just looks bizarre because it's like you're like a cartoon basically, and everything else isn't. You know, it's a bit weird. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the game still. There's been some really interesting little challenges involving. There was one that involved. You have that power where it basically puts all of the enemies
In the air,
in the air, and then you use that with the tripwire, and it basically brings them all down like
that's
to the
freaky.
ground in a big sort of smash. So it's kind of like, and that's the way you have to do it, because I just thought, well, I can use these gadgets and I'll pass, but you have to just use those two gadgets to actually pass that challenge. So yeah, there's some cool like end game stuff there. There's still like a bunch of like the bases that are really hard that I haven't done yet, and there's still a lot of game there to get into. So
it's really weird because I think I said on a previous podcast that maybe at the end of the year, I was kind of treating all of these little weird challenges and tasks as kind of training missions. So the whole construction sites and stuff, I've done all of those. You know, the Fisk ones. Because I just thought it was a good way to get used to the controllers and stuff. Because then I can enjoy the storyline, and I'm much better at controlling Spidey, and I won't get quite so annoyed.
if you needed a baptism by fire for the combat, then that's one way to do it. The only thing I'll say is that a lot of those things unlock through the campaign, and you will like not get access to certain things. I don't think you just get them through leveling up. There are certain missions you have to.
Oh yeah, you have to progress through the story,
to get some of the stuff. Yeah. So it's all well and good doing that, but there are. I mean, you can grind through all of them, and then at a later point in the game, there's a whole another shitload of them that you can do. So they have balanced it quite well in that you can approach it in different ways.
The weird thing is, it didn't feel like I was grinding the missions. It just felt fun because the way I was like reaching these places and stuff and swinging around, I was kind of like improving my web slinging and stuff and learning the whole running around the side of a building, slingshotting around and stuff. So I was kind of
it's because there's a lot to do.
Yeah, I was learning the mechanics through doing a lot of these. Well,
and if you've been away from a lot of from those sort of games for a while, I can understand why you'd want the training wheels for a bit.
Well. Bloody hard training wheels, those construction sites. I'll tell you what, that was the most interesting games of chess I think I've ever played. It's like, study it, go, I'm going to take out that sniper, and take out that guy, I need to ping a web ball at that radio, so that he goes over, and it's each one, you can approach them differently. I think a couple of them I did just jump in the middle and just start smacking everyone around, but...
Yeah, that was generally my approach, but it got more challenging when it's like you're in midair and you're trying to get up somewhere while someone's shooting at you over there, and it gets more and more crazy to the point where you're like right up in the top of skyscrapers. You don't even touch the fucking ground at all. It's pretty
slinging
cool.
rockets back at them also is a godsend when you finally unlock that.
Yeah, you have to be quick. You have to be quick to do that.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty cool. I love it. But looking forward to all of that. So, and something else I haven't actually started playing, but I think I'd mention getting on the Monster Hunter World bandwagon.
Yeah,
I picked that up for 20 quid.
10 quid?
Yep, 20 quid.
Is that
20 quid?
20 quid. PS4?
Yeah.
Oh no,
PS4.
It was cross-platform, wasn't it?
It's PS4 exclusive. Yeah,
was it?
Pretty much. Well, actually,
no, it was
on
PC
as well.
It's on everything.
PC.
It's on them all now. It came out on PC a bit later, but it was Xbox and PS4 initially.
I think we had this conversation several months ago, and there was PS4 DLC or features exclusive.
Like you're right.
And it was cross-platform.
The Horizon Zero Dawn skin. That was it.
That was it.
It's on all of them.
But I've got it because I like I said, I found money down basically the back of the PSN sofa. I was like,
happy days.
But Yeah, also, the cool thing is I know one of my brothers has got it as well, so I'm looking forward to it. And he hasn't played it because I said I'll get it eventually.
I think that moves us quite nicely onto an overall subject, actually. I've got a horrible backlog of games. I'm looking forward to next games, and I'm really struggling to finish what I've got. I've got a lot of uncompleted games first that I need to tidy up. Rob, you're in a similar boat. Clearly you've got, you're, as you've said, you're running Syndicate, you're running Red Dead. What else are you dropping into?
Yeah. Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't actually finished Spider-Man? Or you're the DLC?
I finished Spider-Man. I'm doing the DLC. I mean, that will get tidied up fairly easy. My attitude at the moment is basically I've got 3 games, and whenever I have a chance to play my PlayStation, I take the disc out, put it back in the box, put that box to the bottom, and then play the next one. And I'll just keep doing that until I finish because I want to play all of them equally right now.
This is part of my problem. So I've got 2 massive games from last year, and obviously, one of them we debated, I think, offline, actually. It was technically for you from one of the previous year, but 2 games that I started last year, both of which I thought were superb, but I didn't get around to finishing, was Divinity Original Sin 2, which is a magnificent game, and actually it's a game that I started 4 or so times because I wanted to get my build right and understand it and get it right, and I think I will make a pledge to myself that I am going to start it again from the beginning and try and do everything right. I got through quite a way, we're talking about 20-25 hours in on the last playthrough, but I don't think after several months I can go back to it and feel comfortable with that. So I think I'm going to, when I'm ready, do another Divinity challenge and go straight back in on that and try and play it through and not allow myself to play anything else. So that's a big one. But first, I shall complete the Assassin's Creed DLC for Odyssey. Get that out of the way, because I'm enjoying that.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I have to go back to God of War, which I'm probably 70% of the way through. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but I bought Assassin's Creed and I was too excited, and that just took over. So that's been several weeks. So God of War, was what I was playing previously. But I would actually say I enjoyed Assassin's Creed more, which is why I didn't switch back. So I'll finish Assassin's Creed, then it's God of War, then it's probably going to be some of the new games this year. I reckon Far Cry will be out by the time I've done that. I'll play through that, and then I think I'll be ready to go back to Divinity, because it's a bit dry at the start of this year. There's nothing I'm so excited about that I need to buy it until it's dropped in price. And then
I'm just gonna keep going as I am until I get to Odyssey, basically, and I don't really care how long that takes. If Days Gone gets amazing reviews, I might get that, but that still gives me 4 months to
exactly that. To be honest, if Days Gone gets exceptional reviews, I'll probably buy it just so we've got something to talk about on the podcast, as much as anything else.
Yeah.
But what I will be doing, and I won't talk about it, I promise, you listeners, not you two, I will have to play Spider-Man at some point.
I think you'll enjoy it, mate.
Spider-Man the podcast to death. The other thing I'm going to be picking up, which is a very old game really, but very recently released on the Nintendo Switch, which I think will be an ultimate killer of commutes, is Diablo 3. Like I say, the Switch edition has been reviewed spectacularly, and I'm not worried about playing it online. I've never been one to do that sort of thing too much, so I'm not worried about the co-op aspect. But I think as a pick up and put down random looter, I think that could basically kill hours and hours and hours of train journeys. So I think that's going to be worth
I
the
had
money.
something. Diablo 3. I don't know how the multiplayer works on console, but it's
Is it
co-op
a local
on
multiplayer?
PC.
Couch co-op
It's online multiplayer, but I can't be bothered to pay for the Nintendo Switch online service, which I would now need to do. I'm not interested in having NES games, to be honest, which is basically their offering to be able to play online. So, I'll just play it single player, and just like I did with Borderlands for years, to actually discover the joy of playing Borderlands 2 online with random strangers when it actually got better. But Diablo, I will never know better, because I will never play it with other people.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently it does work couch co-op, but you have to patiently wait for people to dick around in the menus, each player. because they just can't.
Oh, well, would that not be? I suppose your happy path is two people with switches in the same room where you can chat to each other or something. But my wife, I can't see me buying a Switch for the wife and her actually buying into just playing Diablo with me.
No. Couch co-op would be the normal 2-player, isn't it? I thought it'd be on the same screen.
Yeah.
And you'd be in the same field. And the camera would lock onto an area and keep all of you within that area.
Yeah, when I've played games like that before, couch co-op, like you're on the same screen until you get too far. And then it splits, but apparently, it does work. I mean, because Switch, I think that's kind of a requirement for a lot of Switch games, because you can pick up the Joy-Cons and use like one each or something.
I would be surprised if you could control a game as complex as Diablo with a single Joy-Con each. You would still be looking at 2 sets of Joy-Con, which is effectively another £60 outlay on controllers to do that. And frankly, at that point,
no, you can do it all on one Joy-Con. I'm reading this on Games Radar.
You're going to get cramped.
All you have is control. Yeah, you probably will. Yeah. If they do mention that it doesn't cramp your hands. But yeah, because all you need is directions, and you have your attack and then an alt attack. And I think it might have a couple more buttons on there as well. I'm not sure, but no, Diablo's a pretty solid game that will, it will. Given the amount of time they've spent on the port, it's kind of work on any device. I think it's even on phone now, isn't it, or something, or a variant of it.
Well, yeah.
Something like that.
There was a Diablo mobile announced when everyone was expecting Diablo 4. That was a big thing last year. People got really fucking pissy at BlizzCon because they said they had a big Diablo announcement and it was Diablo mobile, and all the fanboys cried and swore and basically said death threats to executives because they're that kind of people.
Yeah. There's a bunch of VR games that I've got piling up I've got a very embarrassing VR backlog.
That sounds like the sort of thing you need to go and see a doctor about.
Oh, God, I've got other things I need to see a doctor about. Fucking ankle is fucked.
I've got a feeling I know what you mean, but that sounds a lot worse.
Yeah. I've got like a backlog of things that I own and a backlog of things that I don't own yet, but have been in my wish list for ages. So I've got House of the Dying Sun and Raw Data. They're 2 games that I've got for VR that I really want to play. And then the other ones I've been wanting to get round to is Arkham VR, Moss, and Lone Echo.
I've heard wonderful things about Arkham VR, I must say. That was one of the very earliest.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
get to be Batman. I mean, there's nothing in that sentence that is bad, is there?
I had a brief go of it at work on the PlayStation VR, which I thought was cool, even if their controllers are not very good. But yeah, the moment when you actually look in the mirror and you are Batman is pretty fucking special.
Here's an interesting question for you, Rob. So you earlier on in the podcast, not this episode, but in general, you were very much a PC man. You got your PS Pro, how long ago now? About a year?
It's been a couple of years.
Okay. Longer than I...
Yeah, maybe coming up for free. I got it basically when
Pro's not been out that long.
I got it as a...
Is it?
I got it as soon as it came out, basically. I bought it the day that the Pro came out because I was...
That's 2016,
yeah, because it was kind of the end of 2016. Right. And that's when I had my little settlement thing, and so I had plenty of spare cash.
But I would say you very much converted from a PC gamer to a PlayStation gamer in that time. Would you agree with that statement?
It ebbs and flows. I come back around. Basically, if there's like a significant delay. Basically, if the PCs kind of pull ahead in terms of like, okay, so The Witcher 3 comes out and looks fantastic on PC, and it's clear that the consoles are getting like the cut down version, then I'll all of a sudden I'll lean more towards PC. But I really don't see that happening again, really, because I feel like we're coming to the end of this console generation, and I still feel like there's more that they can pull out of the bag.
Yeah.
Getting the hang of the tech now.
And
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. And yeah, I really don't know. It'd be interesting to see if I ever switch back again, because right now my PC that I have here, I use it for VR, I use it for recording this podcast, and that's it, basically.
So my question off the back of that is, can you see yourself, because I remember a while ago you said, I've got a VR setup, I certainly don't need two, but there's quite a few PS4 exclusive VR things, and can you see yourself getting a little bit tempted and going,
yeah, there's the Astrobot thing, isn't it? That
Astrobot
everyone's
is
raving
That
about.
sounds really good. I've seen that.
I've not seen it. I don't even know what it looks like, but I've heard so many people say Astrobot is an absolute game changer.
Yeah, people have described it as like, if that was made by Nintendo and it was like the main, if it was like, it feels like the quality of like a first party Nintendo release on a
System
Nintendo
seller.
platform. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know.
I think there's another cute little platform. Was it Mars or something like that, where you play a mouse? That's meant to be really good.
Moss, I just mentioned that. I've got it on my list. You're like looking down on it. So, yeah, I really want to get around to that at some point.
And there's the Tetris VR game as well, which is supposed to be really, really good. Apparently that's meant to be like the best version of Tetris as well.
Only by people who never had the original Game Boy, surely.
No, this is from old school people as well. But
yeah,
it's the closest I think they've gone back to the original Game Boy style. You have to think even one of the levels is a bit like the old Game Boy one.
Cool. I think we're going to sort of wrap this episode up, unless anyone's got any other thoughts on what they think they might be playing.
To be honest, I just need to finish Final Fantasy 15.
You never finished it?
Down enough.
Oh,
I realised
man.
I haven't. When you guys have been talking about this, but it's not intentional. But it was just the fact that I put it down and then I didn't pick it back up again. You know?
Did you get to the place where it got really
It's the exact opposite of that
dark and
Jumper
miserable?
song.
You see, the end.
No.
Game of
I just
that.
stopped playing it.
Yeah,
I really stopped playing
Now
it.
the end bit of Final Fantasy 15 got so dark. The whole thing was lovely, and this boys' road trip and go around and doing all of these things, and then suddenly it just got really dark and miserable. And it was the strangest thing, absolutely strangest thing. It was a fascinating plot element, but if you've not got there, pick it back up, play it. Just, I don't know if it was good or not, but it was really interesting. So that's an absolute Marcus. You need to get back, kill that bastard.
Yeah,
You cannot not complete a Final Fantasy game. You are Marcus.
That's next on the list.
Yeah, do it.
Thanks for listening to the Not Playing Podcast, part of the Not Listening Podcast Network, where you can also find the Not Watching Podcast, where we talk about movies and TV, and the Not Listening Podcast, where you can hear Adam and Co. talk about all kinds of nonsensical nonsense. You can email us at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can tweet at or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for all our shows at notlistening.co.uk, and if you like what you've heard here, please do leave us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Until next time, bye!
With no